Hi, everybody. This is
Hey.
Medical Myths today. But you all know why we're here because I've been chilling this for like the past 3 weeks. So you all know what's going on today. Amit, get in here. I sent you a link, bruh.
Come on, Amin, join us.
Join us.
The more the merrier.
So if you haven't figured out why we're here, this is my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. But not only that, this is the 1 year anniversary of me in the community at all. So it's been one hell of a journey. And 3 people here so far. We're hopefully going to have some more stop in as well. But 3 people that have helped me along the way. And it's been absolutely amazing to get to know each of you and to be able to do shows with each of you on the YouTubes. So it's good to have you here, guys.
It's great to be here.
Yeah,
This is
I
exciting.
appreciate the invite.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for inviting me.
And Brainbug was my first. This is probably a giveaway for one of the questions on the trivia because we're going to play some trivia today. Brainbug was the first ever guest I had on Medical Myths.
Woo!
And
Cool.
yeah, the trivia is not going to be hard today. Well, that's a lie. It's going to be hard.
Brainbug was also my first ever main co-host of The Perspective.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brainbug is just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
been very supportive of this community, I think, and getting everybody's voices out there. That's what I try to do.
Oh, Bree, you're a gift to the community.
Absolutely. Bree was definitely instrumental in the beginning of The Perspective, but we're not here for that. We're here for
Ben.
Me, I did a thing. So I do want to thank some people in the community before we get into the fun shenanigans that this stream is going to descend into, because this is my channel. So I have a list of people. These are all very special people in the community, and they have all in some way contributed to me being part of this. They've all either had me on their channel, or they've been on mine, or we met somewhere on someone else's channel. But either way, all of these people on this list have contributed to my presence in the community, and I'm very thankful to every single one of those people on that list.
I've got a story about one of the people on that list.
Oh, yeah?
So you know Mikey Famine, right?
I do, yeah.
So he actually only lives like 15, 20 minutes away from me.
Oh, wow.
We were both conservative Republican Christians at the same time. And we started our own Republican podcast. This is like 10 years ago, called The Discussion Concussion, where we were set on taking down liberals. And, recorded a few episodes. We had like a couple Democratic friends on, and we just tore through them. And then, we ended up like kind of going our own separate ways, not talking for a while. Amit,
what's up?
And then all of a sudden one day I see him on a stream. We end up on a stream at the same time, and I find out, like me, he's an atheist liberal, completely unexpected, also doing the same thing I'm doing, like totally random.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And we do some karaoke together all the time too.
Oh, excuse me a moment.
What's up, Amit?
Oh, nothing. I am just relaxing. I had a busy week.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be a pretty chill stream today. I might as well show the first highlight reel. I've got 3 of them. So I've got the first one from kind of the first part of the first season of Medical Myths, before things really started getting I guess like a bit more professional. I had struggled a bit at the beginning, like trying to get my intro and stuff. So you'll see some of the progression of just starting the channel, going all the way through to like now. Then we got a Twitch highlights, and then we've got the second part of Medical Myths highlights. So I'm gonna pull up the first one. I can share it. original intro.
I like it.
I do want to address this last paragraph because this is where they're actually making their statements of what they want to happen. They want us to be Christians because obviously we should repent because then we won't get Lyme disease.
I wonder how many Christians get Lyme disease.
Probably a lot. Releases any emotional blockages in womb space, stopping your success.
What?
Fertility. I'm guessing that's for fertility. Declutters your womb and vagina so that energy flows freely there.
Releases thoughts that don't serve you so you can believe in yourself. The thoughts are stored in the vagina.
Yes, and then you agitate it. So you stir it, and supposedly water has memory. So the water.
So when I drink water, I'm drinking Velociraptor pee.
Yeah, it has memory, and the more you agitate it, the more the memory is stored in the water, and that's how you get it to be so potent.
The proposed mechanism by which water remembers things.
I don't know. You assume that these people know science.
I'm not. I just want you to say that they're stupid.
This is like the idea of like some scientist sitting in a lab with like all these things around them and just somebody just walking in and just being like, hey, Joe, just wanted to let you know you're doing a great job. Oh, thanks, man. Really appreciate
I don't remember them saying anything on any other pages about Eve the cloned baby.
No!
This is the first time we're literally.
Yes. And once
maybe it's
again,
in the book. I don't know.
We have been let down. This is like the third time for sure that these questions and answers have just been a total waste. Like a complete until like I was hoping for like a oh, there it is, you know, like maybe like, oh, we found Eve 50 years ago or something, you know, and like we keep her hidden. But no, it's just completely disregarded the entire question.
This disclaimer of like, well, we put you into this box, but we know that like not everyone actually like fits into these boxes, so we're going to give you more boxes within the boxes so that you feel like you're not constrained to a box, but we're still constraining you to a box.
No thinking outside the box here. Thank you very much.
Hey, here's doTERRA stuff. Yay. Starting to make my brain hurt.
So we're borrowing immunity from the plants, and that's how we get our immunity. It's not our immune system like memorizing pathogens and knowing what to attack, or even having innate immunity where we just attack whatever's not us. But we borrow, so we take these oils now, and the oil in us is now going to deter predators.
Right.
I'm also kind of wondering about the juices from the onion, like leaking out on the sheets and that, because
that's a good point. That's kind of gross.
Yeah, well, and you know what it is when onions go bad and get moldy. So, are you encouraging mold to grow in your sheets?
I was just thinking that, like, especially onions and any other types of plant, they're gonna have sugars in them naturally. Like, even though onions are savory, they still have a good amount of sugar in them. Yeah, if you leak that out onto your sheets or just kind of leave it out overnight, it could probably attract some bugs. That would be kind of gross.
It's okay. The bugs are all natural.
That's true. It's all natural. Yeah, as long as there aren't any chemicals on the bugs.
Brain bug is attracted.
Right?
Yep.
No, I've never found throwing up relaxing.
So they're telling us that we're going to be relaxed after all this. I'm not convinced. And then the next step is more purgation. So you clear the GI tract from the duodenum to the exit. And then you do an enema using medicated oil.
No.
So you throw up, and then you keep throwing up. Maybe you poop a little bit, and you put medicated oil up your butt. And it's going to lubricate the rectum and remove lipid-soluble waste through the anus. Very relaxing.
Wow.
So those are the first highlights.
Interesting story about putting onions in your socks. When I was younger, I think in like middle school, someone told me that putting like onions in your socks when you go to bed will give you a cold or a fever the next day.
No, it'll take away the cold or fever, I thought.
Oh, I heard that it gave you a cold or fever, and I did not want to go to school the next day, so I put like an onion in my.
I always heard leaving an onion out or putting it in in the bottom of your feet will suck out all the toxins from your body. Or like before you go to bed, you put a raw onion next to your bed, and it will pull the flu out of you, and you'll end up being cured the next day.
Yeah, that was the myth that we were debunking on that episode. It was a weird one. So, Brainbug, is that what you do to attract the bugs? Do you put an onion in your socks and then hope the bugs find you?
Well, you can put any kind of rotting vegetable matter out, and you're bound to attract some invertebrate friends. But if you want to put onions in your socks to do it, I'm not here to kink shame.
Check this out. Guess what I just learned the other day, and I confirmed it with Brainbug to make sure this wasn't just some crazy meme. Did you know there is a tarantula that if it bites you, it will give you an erection for 4 hours or even longer?
I did know that.
It's not a tarantula though. It's the Brazilian wandering spider. It's a true spider.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, but it's a big spider.
If you do not succeed in the next 4 hours, please consult your doctor.
I mean, how bad does the bite hurt?
Or an entomologist.
They said it was pretty excruciating.
Oh, well, then its utility is limited, isn't it?
Well, the priapism was also going to be really painful, so...
What?
The priapism, when you have an erection for like a long time, it's a priapism.
Dude. All right, so I have a story for you. Well, can I tell you a Grandpa's story on this channel or no?
Yeah,
okay.
Go for it.
So for those that don't know, I am in kind of an open relationship, and we're swingers. So we go to swingers events. And one thing that is commonly used in the swingers community is Viagra. Because, obviously there's immense pressure on men to be able to perform multiple times, throughout the night. Well, one gentleman had an erection for 17 hours before going to the hospital. And when they got to the hospital to drain it, black started coming out of his penis. And fortunately, his penis did not die, but it did not work for a while.
That's horrifying.
Well, yeah.
So, folks, if you ever have an erection lasting more than 4 hours, you need to seek medical attention. Don't let your pride, because I know men, it's kind of a pride thing. That's why they don't want to get it taken care of. Go in. Don't wait that long.
And go to the hospital. You need a hospital. Don't show up to your primary care asking for them to, because they're not going to. They're going to send your ass to the hospital.
Right, because they have to essentially drain it with a needle.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a fun time.
Your PCP isn't going to be draining the blood from your member.
No, they are not. So,
it sounds horrible.
I think it's a good time for some medical myths trivia, if everybody is down. So this first round is all questions based on medical myths. So if you've watched medical myths, you might know some of these answers. I gave one answer away already, so you all get a freebie. So I'm going to... For those of you who have been to my Twitch streams, you will have played this kind of trivia before. So you're going to go to... Here, let me share the screen so you can see the link on there. On whatever device you want to use. Going to go to www.kahoot.it, and you're going to type in the pin, which is up at the top of the screen. And the rules for this trivia: every question is based on medical myths for this round. You have 10 questions, and you will get points for answering correctly. You will get more points for answering correctly quickly. You will not lose any points for answering incorrectly, so it is in your best interest to at least try. There's no finals round this time. There are only 2 rounds of trivia, and the winners of each round of trivia are eligible for the merch giveaway. So you can either get a t-shirt or a mug that says Medical Myths on it, and you will get to pick which one. But you got to win one of the 2 rounds of trivia in order to get that.
Okay, so I need to go get my computer.
It'd be good. You could do it on your but you're streaming from your phone, so
Yeah,
give you a minute.
let me get my computer. Bear with me.
I'm streaming from my phone and playing on my phone at the same time.
Neat. While Ethan disappears.
Audience can play. Anybody in the audience can play. Anybody in the stream can play. I can accommodate up to 20 people, and I don't think we will exceed 20 people. I don't think we ever have exceeded 20 people on trivia. Oh, the chat's getting exciting. Hi, Amanda. How's it going? Stool, I will not send you a t-shirt just for being sexy. That's not how this works. Amanda, would you like a link? Also, Critical Cripple, if you'd like one as well, I can send you one. Stool, I will wait to send you a link. Oh, wait. I'll send you one too, if you'd like.
Just bear with me a moment. My computer's booting up. I just need about 60 seconds.
No, you're good. You're good.
What's the website again?
www.kahoot.it. This music is my favorite.
I do. I like it.
Ethan, it was funny because when I was on your show, people that were watching were half expecting the Kahoot to just show up when I was doing the trivia. I was like, it's too much work to do that kind of trivia on that show.
Well, the last time I was on Ben's trivia show, I was wearing a giant Pokemon onesie, so...
You were
Yes,
in like
you were.
a mask.
Should I be hearing music? I'm not hearing any music. It just says you're in. See your nickname on the screen, and that's it.
Oh, you might hear it through the stream, but you might not hear it.
Oh. Okay.
You use StreamYard too?
Yeah, I use StreamYard.
Okay, cool.
Who's bad at trivia?
I'm bad at trivia. Really bad.
I get lucky
Okay, Amanda.
sometimes.
Yeah, Amanda, if you want to play the trivia, and you can always come in later, that's fine too.
If people walk around my house, they will randomly see like atheist community stuff, like my mug.
Nice.
Heck yes.
You walk around my house.
You
you'll
said
find-
you got the P value.
I have the p-value shirt. I actually went to look for it, but I think it's in the wash.
Yes.
So.
So let me see your P value shirt.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's great.
All right, we got 8 people in. I don't see anybody else joining. So I think we're gonna start. If anybody else wants to join, you can join in later on in the round. You just don't get the points for the questions you weren't around for. So we'll see if that makes a difference. All right, I'm gonna hit the start button.
Let's do this.
All right, this is all medical myths themed trivia. Lachesis is a homeopathic remedy made from which of these? This is a cheat for Brainbug. This was an episode with Brainbug, if you can't tell by the options.
You need to say that before we've picked.
I clicked it.
Yeah. Damn.
The answer is snake venom.
Oh, okay.
We had a running joke about that for quite a while. Me and Ben did about hot flashes and snake venom, microdosing, microdosing snake venom, fun stuff.
We got Amber in the lead. I believe that's Critical Cripple in the lead, followed by Amit, followed by Brainbug, followed by Ethan, followed by Kyle.
That's going to be the only question I get right throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bree, when I flash, it's never a hot flash.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Amit, you're pretty jacked.
Yeah, I know. But like self-deprecating humor is fun.
It is fun.
Question number 2. According to Dr. Josh Axe, which food should be eaten in abundance during the Candida diet?
What the hell is a Candida diet?
The diet to stop fungus overgrowth. Except the diet's absolute bullshit.
I was there for this episode, and I still like I'm like barely remembering because I think I black out everything that Josh Axe says.
Fair enough, as you should. He is not a credible source of information. It is starchy vegetables.
Where was I getting cold
man.
food from then?
Because he said that you should eat, or he said that you should not eat cold food because you want to eat warming food.
I was sure it was going to be fatty fish. Come on.
Yeah, for some reason, he is complaining about people eating too much sugar on the Candida diet and then said that you should eat potatoes, which is all sugar.
All sugar.
All starchy vegetables are sugar, right?
Yeah, which is why it's funny that they say that you should eat starchy vegetables. OA has climbed to the lead. Question number 3. Which of these is not a function of cortisol? This is from last week's episode.
Fuck. Oh, sorry. I don't know if swearing's allowed.
You're allowed to swear.
Okay.
My show's super chill.
I'm making a guess. Pretty smart guess.
Always make a guess.
Uh,
It does not lower blood pressure. It raises your blood pressure. Amit is in the lead, followed by Atheist Drew. We
damn,
got
go
somebody
Amit.
else joining us. OA, welcome to the fun.
Hi.
Next question. Question number 4. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is FDA approved for treating which of these conditions?
Oh, God.
I have no clue.
It is approved for gas gangrene.
That was going to be my other guess.
I haven't gotten a single one. Don't worry.
I'm glad nobody picked cancer. Thank you. Question number 5. Lyme disease is most commonly transmitted by which tick?
Which tick? Seriously?
Oh, goodness.
No, this is
Bree
this
better
is
get this
Ben.
one.
It's a pretty easy question, actually.
Yeah.
Well, for
Yes,
you.
it is. Yeah, for you.
Yeah, which ticks carry Lyme disease? Right there.
It's
on
in the
screen.
picture. It's in the picture.
There's a picture of it even.
I don't know.
Because that's going to help.
This
It
is
helps if you know which tick it is.
this is just Ben trivia.
This is my style of trivia.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
the hints I give are only hints if you already knew the answer.
Isn't the
Yeah.
Lone Star tick the one that gives you an allergy to red meat?
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's because it causes starry, which I think that might be a symptom of starry.
Hmm.
But it is Ixodes or Ixodes, whichever way you prefer to pronounce it. They're both correct. And Brainbug, of course, is in the lead. Followed by Amber, followed by Amit, followed by Atheist Drew, followed by OA. So the moral of the story here is if your name begins with an A or a B, you're probably going to win.
Sorry, Ethan.
I'm screwed.
Yeah, bad at trivia is back at 0.
Oh, okay. So, but we're going to disregard all data that does not support my conclusion.
Oh.
So that doesn't count. SR isn't here to call me out of my fallacies. So you know what? I can make as many fallacies as I want until he shows up.
I just need a T-shirt now that says disregarded data.
Disregarded data. Question number 6. Sensory nerves of the foot originate at which spinal levels? This is a mean question.
Oh my god!
This
is a fuck you, student Dr. Ben question.
Welcome to Ben's trivia, Ethan.
My god! And you invited me to play trivia once before. Are you kidding me?
Oh, but the other trivia is not usually medical trivia.
5 of us got it right, though.
Yeah, 5 of you got it. I did say it in my video, so.
If you know the name of the
Put me in
vertebra,
fifth
it's actually easier, I guess.
Getting that one lucky
Because
correct.
L
put me in
stands for
fifth.
lumbar, and you start feeling the sensory nerves to your lower appendages in your lumbar vertebrae. So,
Yep. I talked about it in the video because I was debunking the fact that they think that like the nerves in your feet connect all over in your body, but they can't do that if you receive impulses like from top down. It cannot retroactively affect cervical spine levels. So Brainbug is still in the lead. Amit has moved up. Bad at trivia. You are on the board again. Question number 7. Who was the first ever guest on Medical Myths? I said this already. So here's your freebie question.
Yay.
So it's whoever answers it quickly, the most quickly, is going to get the top points. And it is Brainbug.
Yay.
Brainbug has the highest answer streak of 3.
highest answer streak.
Question number 8. A deficiency in blank is a common cause of hemochromatosis. Bonus points if you can tell me which episode of Medical Myths this was from.
I just guessed.
On a side note, SDB, you know, of course I got it wrong. Do you know what I've always wanted to do with you?
Yeah.
An episode of like Doctor Reacts to
yeah.
I've always wanted to do something like that with you. Like Doctor Reacts to House episode.
I did react to an episode of Scrubs in my Patreon after show.
Oh, dude, you got to do an episode of House.
I will do that. I'll bring you on when we do that one.
Good, because I love House. I know that show so well.
Yes. So nobody got this question, but that's okay. This was a really mean question.
Is this a vampire episode?
It was not. This one was actually the episode with Biddy Buddha about medicine in the Bible.
Oh.
Because we had an article where a guy claimed that the reason why God said to not drink blood was because of hemochromatosis. And I had to debunk that.
Right.
So Brainbug is still in the lead, followed by Amit, followed by Amber, followed by Atheist Drew, followed by OA. 2 more questions in this round. Question number 9. Amethyst is purple and therefore aligns which chakra?
I know this, but I know this for a really dumb reason, and I think I'm right. Oh god.
I don't know. Enough will.
I totally forgot.
I don't know enough real science. And you're asking me woo questions.
Oh, yes. I remember.
Amit, what was your dumb reason for how you knew about the crown chakra being purple?
So the color purple and pink are associated with Super Saiyan Rosé, and Super Saiyan Rosé is associated with pride, and pride is in the head, and it goes into this whole like Super Saiyan color theory thing, and I'm just like,
Yes, go Dragon Ball.
Doug, love Dragon Ball. I've been on a Dragon Ball super kick lately, rewatching the episodes.
Same.
I thought about rewatching the series here lately.
Amit has launched into first place.
Go Amit.
Last question. I didn't realize that last question was going to like drastically change the outcome of this game.
So what happens when?
Question number 10. According to medical astrology, heart disease is related to. Kyle, this was in
Seriously?
your episode.
I know, and I'm struggling here.
People, I can't believe someone actually believes this.
Yeah.
A lot of people do, unfortunately. I got it wrong.
Hi guys.
Hi Beck. What's up?
Hey Beck.
Dude, I have super good news. Can I tell it?
Yeah, you can tell it.
Okay, so here's the deal. So I went to a job interview this morning. I thought it was 11:30, and then I looked at the email and I was like, shit, it's 11. So I jump out of bed and I get ready and everything, and I make myself all look good. And I go down there, and it's at a place called Art Handlers. They move art. That's all they do. They pack it up and they move it.
Mhm.
So it will be either 6 to 11 days gone and then 2 weeks in the warehouse. And I get to build wooden crates and stuff to pack art. And then I get to drive it to like New York City and California. Dude.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And it's like $1,000 more a month than I was making.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
And that's not counting the per diem. And while you're gone, she puts you up at hotels while you're gone. And
Oh,
she
hell
pays you
yeah.
per diem.
Hey, Beck.
This sounds like an awesome job.
I know, right? So I was like, what am I going to do with my cats? I said, Sharon, let me. So she is a local lady. She's lived here her whole life, and she got bored with accounting and opened up this business. So it's literally mom and pop owned. It's owned by a
That's
7-year-old woman. She is freaking cool as hell. We sat there and talked for like an hour, and she said, I'm really interested in hiring you. I said, I really want this job. I said, let me go talk to my landlord. So I went in the door and I ran in there and I said, look, you guys, I got to go real quick, but if you guys do this, I will pay you $200 a month. They were like, no. And I was like, no, I don't mind paying you. I know it's a pain in the ass to come over here and feed the cats and scoop the litter box, twice a day or whatever. I will pay you. And they were like, don't worry about it. We'll just trade services. And I was like, now I get to keep my money too.
That's sweet.
So
yeah.
right? I'm
Congrats,
so
Beck.
excited.
Dude,
Dominant.
that's fantastic.
Well,
Yeah,
say
so
hi sometime when you're in New York.
Yeah, she said, right? She said, she goes, she said, I really want to hire you. Can you work that out? And I said, I will make it happen, damn it. Ethan,
Yes.
I didn't even recognize you with your little cap on, and it's a weird angle.
My bad. How's it going?
How's it going, buddy? How you been?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Great now.
Good.
Now that I'm not jobless. I've been jobless for 2 weeks. It's been stressing me out like a maniac.
Oh man, I'm sorry. That's gotta be tough.
Yeah, Beck,
Well,
I was worried
when your
about you.
ex-
Go ahead. I was just
No, no.
worried about you, man, the whole time with the joblessness.
Yeah, it's stressful, man. Yeah, Ethan, there's nothing like dating somebody, they break up with you, and then they fire you a couple weeks later.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was dating my boss. Don't ever date your boss.
No, I don't
Listen
think
to
I
men
would.
And don't date your boss.
Okay, so I actually, this is not something I would do now, but this is something I did when I was a douche. I dated an employee of mine, and I actually ended up probably about a year and a half ago. I ended up messaging her. I'm like, hey, just so you know, I've been thinking about you recently, and me going out with you when I was your boss was really wrong,
fucked up. Yeah.
and I'm really sorry about that. And she was like, while I appreciate your apology, she's like, I was genuinely into you. She's like, you never made me uncomfortable. Don't even worry about it. So she made me feel better, but I did because I didn't really, at that time, I was young. I didn't really truly grasp the whole power dynamic, issue with power, differential in power. I can't talk. The differences in power dynamics.
Right.
So fortunately, nothing like bad happened. And we did get in a few fights, but I never treated her different at work. When we were at work, It was just it was a job. So
right. Yeah.
But
yeah, it was the
that's something
same way
I
with
think
me. Besides us sneaking sometimes into her exam room and making out for a minute or two, but otherwise than that, it really nothing was any different.
We did have actually sex in the workplace.
I actually told my ex that I wanted to go put her on the other doctor's table and fuck the shit out of her because I hated that bitch. That would have been funny. We never got a chance
Anyway, also, okay, should I let this troll in? Somebody's trying to troll my channel.
No,
Hey, Secular
no.
Rarity, what's up?
No, get that guy out of here.
Get him out of
guy outta
here.
We're gonna start talking about the
Hey.
7-day week and everything. And
So
Well,
I
let me-
need to. I do need to find out who the winner is of this game because we're right at the end of this round of trivia, and I want to see who won.
Look at this little tiny pipe they gave me for free.
Third place is Brainbug.
Baby.
Second place is Amit.
Where's
So
Brainbug?
who's in first?
I didn't even see you hit the little icon.
Atheist Drew is
Hey,
the
Amit.
winner. Beck, hold on, real quick. I gotta make sure Drew gets their prize. So I have your email. So I have a way to contact you. We'll chat because you get either a T-shirt or a mug, whichever is your preference, and we'll talk about how to get that to you. But congratulations on your trivia win.
Congrats.
Yay.
Woo!
Amit,
yes,
I love the mustache, but I'm really jealous, so fuck off. Dude, that is like 70s freaking porn star / cop. If you didn't have the goatee, it would be porn star, but since you have the goatee, it's cop.
It's
totally
it's
70s cop.
Malayali genetics, so yeah, my mustache grows like way thicker than everything else.
It looks good on you, though, man. It looks good on you.
By the way,
You rocking
Ethan.
it? You rocking it?
Ethan, I have a shirt coming today in the mail that I hope you'll be impressed with. Because I remember back on my deconversion story with Neil in the after party, you said I need to step up my wardrobe with colors.
Yeah.
Well, I did it. So hopefully
Well,
it'll
good.
come before the show's over. I'm going to put it on.
Awesome. Hopefully,
Heck yeah.
I'll get to see it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, can we all agree that, like, it's been pretty miraculous, like seeing SDB come up in the community so quickly. Like, it was like just 4 months ago, you know, he was around, but then all of a sudden he just fucking exploded and is literally everywhere. And honestly, I don't think we could ask for better representation. You know, he's one of the best people in the community, always so positive, so kind to callers, polite, educated. Like this, these are the positive atheists we need front and center as representatives of us, so people see us in a better, more positive light.
Hell
So
yeah.
Yes.
I couldn't be more happy with seeing you take off, SDB.
I'm so bad at receiving compliments. It's
I
awful.
told him, Ethan. You ask him. I told him. You ask him. Sorry, wrong guy. You ask him. I told him. I said, dude, you're going to blow up. And he was like, oh, I don't know, man. I said, look, you're brilliant. You have a great personality. Good looking dude. You're going to blow up. And he's like, no. And look, here we are. He has streamed a year and a half less than me and has 4 times as many, I think almost 4 times as many subscribers.
It's not just his subscriber base. Look how many shows he gets invited on and the caliber of the shows.
That's because
he gets
he's
invited on.
brilliant.
I know.
That's
And
'cause
this
he's
is
fucking
only
brilliant.
This is only the beginning. Like this
I
is
know.
a year in. Like I can't
He can
wait
literally
to see
make side money off of this one day. He will.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see how far he goes. You know, he'll be giving talks, I'm sure, one day and getting flown to conferences and
Yeah,
we'll be
absolutely.
so
And then
Yeah,
he can
like-
interview people live on his channel, other doctors, while he's out there at the conferences and stuff.
yes.
While
He'll
he's
make a
saving
fucking
people's
mint
lives.
while you're
He'll be
saving
doing
people's
surgery while streaming and interviewing other doctors.
Mr.
Well,
Worldwide.
of course. Ben can do 20 things at once. That's no big deal.
And I'm the
Like
armchair
stitch up
in
this heart, whatever.
I'm the armchair in Neil's after parties. Like I've claimed the spot as the armchair,
That's
and
okay.
Beck's the love
You-
seat.
I got
Yeah.
the ashtray,
I
remember?
am the love
Like,
seat.
here's what I don't understand is how he has so much time to study for school, you know, while being a medical professional and learn everything he's learning and still contribute to all of
Hold
the
on.
shows.
I
he's
have the
contributing.
answer. I have the
I
answer.
cry a lot.
He cries a lot. There's actually 2 answers. One, he cries a lot. And the other one is that if he needs to miss shows, he goes, sorry, Beck. And I'm like, nah, bro, it's cool. Go ahead.
Where do you
So I let
find
him
the
miss my shows and I don't give him any shit about it. Anytime he needs a break, he can miss any of my shows and then he can spend his time with more important shit because I just bullshit.
Where
And
do
we
you
all know
find the
that.
time to cry, Ben? That seems like you would have a hard time fitting
He
that
cries
into
in
the
my
schedule.
backstage whenever
Well,
he
like
comes. No, I'm kidding.
like
No,
a full,
yeah.
like a full in the shower, tears streaming down the face type moment. I mean, how do you have?
Well,
how do
you have
that
to.
time?
The secret is time management, right? So you have to make sure that you're multitasking. You can't just cry because then you're only doing one thing. You got to
Brushing your
kill
teeth,
multiple birds with
crying,
one stone.
showering.
So what you do
Yeah.
is you do the
Masturbate,
Pomodoro
cry,
method.
cook, cry.
You do the Pomodoro method, but instead of like the regular breaks that you're supposed to take, you just masturbate and cry during that time, and then you go back
Right.
to work, and then
Yeah,
you're all ready
get
to
all
go.
the emotions out at once. Right.
Just get all of them out at one time.
Just, oh,
you need like a little speed bag or something in the corner so that you can like get out some anger, like masturbate, cry, just like
speed bag, cry, and masturbate at the same time.
I'm not
That is
sorry for
skill,
those
Estar.
mental images people now
That
have.
is
I'm not.
skill.
Yeah,
Watch,
thanks,
you
that's
know, you
our
don't want to
buddy.
miss Drew. You could break
But I do want to share a little bit, kind of the story of how the channel came to be and like how it's been going since then. I mean, a lot of you know how it's been going, but last year the Transatlantic Call-In Show had started, and like I was religiously watching that show, like because for once there was a community of trans people, and I was just finding my way into, you know, coming out as trans and all that. And I'd been watching like the atheist shows forever, like as long as I've been an atheist, which I mean hasn't been terribly long, but like since before I started med school at least. So I was watching the Transatlantic Call-In Show, and people kept calling in with the same thing of, you don't understand biology because biology says that sex is binary. And every single time I would be in the side chat and I would say, you all need to take an embryology class, because if you took one embryology class, you would understand that all of this like is bullshit. It's not true. And so then I was like, okay, well, I can't just keep sitting here and yelling at people to go take an embryology class. Like, I should bring them the embryology class. So I was like, I'm going to make videos and just talk about this stuff so that I can stop, like, you know, bugging other people about it and just do it myself. So I did. And then after a while, like, it was, I mean, it's always a really slow start, but people like Math Pig was one of them that really got me understanding more about the community. Like Math Pig, Phoebe started her channel kind of around the same time I started. Critical Cripple is one of those people. Manda, everybody that had kind of those smaller like open mic days, and I would hang out with those people, and then eventually, and even around that time, like that I started, I had reached out to people like Shannon Q, asking just like, how do you, start a channel? Like, how do you kind of establish yourself within the community? Like, just trying to meet people. And then I got in touch with Neil, because I'd heard that basically once you go on Neil's show, you meet everybody.
Right.
So in July, I went on with Neil, and that's where I met Beck. I can point the correct direction. And then I remember we immediately hit it off in that after party, went to Beck's show. And then on Beck's show, there were people like Cynthia McDonald was hanging out there. And I was like fanboying a whole bunch. I was like, there are people that I've like watched before on other shows, and they're
really?
here.
I've known Cynthia for years, for like 2
Yeah, no, I was like,
didn't
I'm
even
in the
know.
same room as Cynthia right now. And then
Cynthia, she's my buddy.
Yeah, and then we had talked, and we still
funny.
have to do our show, because I'm gonna be doing eventually a show with Cynthia about HIV.
Ooh,
but
that's it. That's totally in her wheelhouse. So that would be a
exactly.
great episode.
We talked about this a year ago, and we still scheduling things came up. But then that happened, and then somehow people kept wanting me to do stuff, and I don't know why that happened. And then I think Faithless Forum finally meeting everybody, that's really what kind of, I don't know, made the channel grow a lot. But I think like I'm still amazed at the amount of people that like gave me a chance at the beginning, like because it's just some random person that you don't know.
Right.
Like, okay, yeah, there's some person on YouTube, and for you to offer somebody that you don't know at all a spot on a show, like as a guest, is a lot. Like it's a big thing. Like because you don't know if they're gonna come on, if they're gonna say something totally out of character, like if they're gonna spout racist stuff on like you just don't know what
You're
someone's
right.
gonna do.
And I like personally have become I'm very paranoid over who I'll let on my channel. And there are times like I feel bad. Like several people have reached out to me like, hey, can I be on the perspective? And it's like I don't want to be rude sometimes, but it's just like no, I'm really picky. Like I want to only platform the most positive people, good people I can find.
How come you haven't had me on there? What are you telling me, Ethan? I'm gonna cry a little bit, bro. No, I'm kidding. I just don't know. I'm not like book learned the way these guys are. So that's why I don't try to go on any shows. I just got street shit and life experience, but I got that like ninefold. You know?
But I remember, is Ethan was the first person to actually like offer me a spot on a call-in show, with SR, and I ended up doing the hang up before that. But but Ethan was like the first person to like give me a chance, and same thing like Matt Delahunty. Like I know a lot of people have not as nice things to say about him, but he gave me a chance. Like people gave me a chance, and I'm incredibly grateful that people gave me a chance, and I'm hoping that I don't disappoint anybody.
Whoa, you've earned your spot. That's for sure. You belong here, just as much as everybody else, if not more.
Oh,
I tell Ben all the time.
More than a lot of people, Ethan. More than a lot of people.
Yeah,
there's a good handful out there. We all are like, can you just go away and leave our
Yes,
community?
there are. Oh, I would love to list
Just
out
a handful.
a bunch of names of people that like you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here. Just
Yes.
leave.
I don't know why y'all are talking
Literally,
about
I
a
think
meat
it's-
like this. He is a
I think
great
it's
guy.
5 to 7.
That is terrible.
Be quiet. He doesn't know. He's right there.
Wow.
No, but I think there's like 5 to 7 of them that if they just went away, our community would just
so much more beautiful and happy without certain people just dragging it down.
I think it's a better community with you in it, Amit. Don't let them talk about it.
Oh, shut up.
100%.
No, it's me. I'll leave. I'll go.
Neil wants to do the perspective again.
Neil, I will definitely invite you on, but I have some unfortunate news. I have temporarily put a hold on the perspective. I'm kind of slowing down on content creation because I need to focus on some things in my personal life. And for those that don't know, the perspective isn't a self-sustaining show. It's still growing, so I don't get endless amounts of calls. So what I do to get callers is I'll post in Facebook groups like All Day Monday and All Day Tuesday, searching for people interested in having these tough conversations with different topics. So it takes a great deal of my time, and I just can't be putting that much time into YouTube right now. So Neil, you're absolutely welcome back when I bring the show back. I'm happy to have you back on.
So I think I want to show the highlights from the Twitch channel, because for those of you who have not been around for the Twitch shenanigans, you are missing some fun. So I'm going to play that video.
Are you sure
Real
these
quick,
are safe for YouTube or?
Oh, they're
Let me
safe.
interrupt Ben because I gotta run over. I got that thing over with
Yeah.
Jim Hall and Atheist Edge. So I'm gonna go over there. You guys, love you all, and when I get done with that, if anybody's around, I will be back. Thanks, guys.
Everyone,
Get back.
Bye, B.
Yeah.
Be back.
What? Oh,
We're just saying bye.
It
Bye.
overblended.
All right, so I'm gonna share the Twitch highlights, and you're gonna notice because I started, but way before I started testosterone, so the voice change. I'm pretty squeaky in some of these videos, so just be kind to me. I know.
You gotta really coat it in the liquid.
This was Beerios.
Okay, this is just like bread on bread. Is essentially what the
knows what it is.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's just.
I put beer on Cheerios. That is the thing I did.
Oh, you monster!
Whole wheat soup.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. I'm really not. I'm not mad at all. And then maybe we can get some more hens.
My Guy Fieri outfit.
Whoa! 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 Torben's a fiend.
So I had made myself in The Sims, and this random girl walks in, makes out with him while his boyfriend's bathing the fox in the bathroom.
What? Your boyfriend is bathing your pet fox, and this random girl walks in.
Point is to be a heathen. I feel a little bit guilty doing this. I'm not gonna lie.
Sin of man, toast crunch.
Evangelical history is like kicking in, and it's like no, and no one's reading the verse. Okay, who wants to read the verse? Here we go. Ready?
We put wine on communion crackers and eat it.
Go.
Like cereal.
Everyone's doing it.
So there's the
This is nasty as shit.
It was so gross.
What,
It's not a
flexible
GoPro.
cable?
But it could be a GoPro if you tried hard enough.
Stuck.
You're gonna hit me.
It's my controller stuck or something. Hold on.
Yeah, your controller's just driving.
Where are you
It
going, Ben?
I don't have a choice right now, Ben. My controller's stuck.
That's hilarious.
I'm getting the hell out of here.
Hold on.
That was the weirdest shit.
wee.
That's what I screamed during sex.
You scream wee?
God damn it! I made another clippable thing, didn't I?
You did.
Masturbate with Satan. That's what I'm gonna say. That's my threat to everyone. I'm just gonna walk into a church and be like, masturbate with Satan. We taught your baby about masturbation and Satan.
Why do you keep saying things that I need to clip?
Catnip can clip this out. I'm teaching the children about Satanism and a rough 69.
Oh wow.
To go with the Satanism and masturbation from last time.
Can you hurry up, fucker?
Ben's road rage.
I have such bad road rage in that truck game.
Easier. Because I have so much disk space right now. Because I have
so much dick space.
I have dick space.
Really got his
I have
legs
that too.
far apart.
I
All
also
this
have
dick
that.
space.
I
Lots
also
of
have
dick
that.
space.
No,
He's
but
got all
also
this
I have
dick
disk.
space.
I have disk space.
Snap it. Plus. See if I can get this pair to snap. That was better. Okay.
Oof.
Here we go. This is for mice.
My weird party tricks that I have now,
We're gonna
like
get
snapping
mice
gloves.
just, like, clipping out
I never noticed in this clip before, but your Sims character really
Snapping
loves
the
those
gloves.
chickens. Like, a
Yes.
lot more than
We
seems
do.
normal.
Yes.
Why are you getting a phone call in your wedding?
Did somebody say Bob Ross? That's
Bob
the
Ross and
painting.
Bukake. If you want the Bob Ross and Bukake, go with option 1. If you
I'm
want
not allowed to
nipple
play.
abuse and nipple toast, go with option 2.
I don't like how you're phrasing these questions. You're making it sound like we have options.
Well, okay, so both of them agree on savory being a synonym for morally exemplary.
Well, great. Yeah, cool. So we know that Pop Tarts are moral. We got that done, settled.
So since Pop Tarts are moral, they must be savory.
I haven't had a Pop Tart since
Next
that.
time- next time somebody-
episode,
next time
Ben.
somebody
You haven't changed your shirt either.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've definitely like
You did
4 of
You did
these.
the ethical thing right there. You did the morally correct thing. This is what I got. God is more complicated than Pop Tarts. Therefore, real. That's what I got.
So, SR, I'm going to call in to talk heathen on Sunday and just say, God is more complicated than Pop-Tart.
I will purposely
Honestly, still a better argument than the calendar
say
thing.
everybody in crew and just be like, no. I love Ben. No.
Do not let us.
I know that guy. I know that asshole. Do not let him.
Okay, if anybody's gonna make a clip, make a clip of like this 15 seconds right here, separated from everything else, because no one will ever figure out what cornolinguist was supposed to mean.
Yeah, we really need to promote the small content creators, you know, the people that know and watch
Where
it.
have I seen?
We appreciate it.
Maybe
Yeah, I
on
know.
YouTube and TikTok because I
My-
follow him on TikTok too.
Thank you.
So you're welcome.
My
Kenneth.
mic is effed up.
Nice
Let
to
me
meet
fix
you.
this here. Nice to meet everybody.
Yeah, we know. So I'm inflammatory tonight because last time we had debates about hot dogs and sandwiches. What the fuck? Why is Ollie? Is that Ollie?
It wasn't a.
Ollie.
Kind of space though.
Hello.
On bookend.
That's weird.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You said that because you're Canadian. You're not really sorry.
And my talk is masturbation, not on my watch, because I'm a Mormon, and you all should be too. So according to Galatians 12:5, hide thy PP, or thy enemy shalt want it. So do not masturbate. See, over time, you start with a stack of 10 coins, and then every time you masturbate, that goes down until you are a worthless piece of shit. Because having sex makes you garbage. I needed you to understand me. And now I need you to fear me. Because I am actually the second coming of Jesus H. Christ. And you may have heard that Jesus was supposed to be a deity, but actually I am the robot spawn of Satan. So,
unless you want to face dire consequences and go to hell, you will obey me and not touch your belief again.
thank you.
That speech was like the highlight of my life.
The thank you at the end always gets me.
So those are the kind of shenanigans we have on Twitch. So y'all are missing out. We have debates about Pop-Tarts are moral and Pop-Tarts are proof of God. And we talk a lot about masturbation and Satan, if you can't tell we had 3 clips about Satan and masturbation.
And a lot of other things that definitely cannot be shown.
I can't believe nothing about Long Furby came up.
Yeah.
I don't have as many clips of Long Furby.
That's okay.
It's mostly on Bolt's channel, I think, right?
That's all right.
It's okay. We don't need it.
Yeah. It's fine.
We did talk about vomit straws last night.
Last night we played a game where it's kind of like telephone, but you're telling a story, and you only see the sentence right before you, and you have to try to write more to the story, and it got so weird. We got like people chugging Miralax. I wrote an erotic fan fiction of Darth Vader and Murby. I talked about shoving butter up your ass and coming out your nipples. It was a weird time.
Wow.
So y'all miss out if you're not in the Twitch.
The Twitch is a good time.
I'm sorry I didn't join last night. I was just too tired.
Yeah.
It was weird. And we just broke Ethan.
Oh, holy shit, my shirt's here.
Nice.
Go get your shirt. Go do it. So, with that, Amit had to leave. Bye, Meat. We love Amit. So, I think this is a good time to start the next round of trivia.
Well, before we start the next round, I do actually have to head out.
Okay. It's good to have you here, Ethan.
I really appreciate you inviting me on. Congratulations on your 1 year, and I look forward to many more years to come.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some more streams together, and have a good rest of your Saturday.
You too. I'll talk to you guys later. Everyone have a good one.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Cat's back. Hello, Cat.
And Cat is exhausted.
And Cat is exhausted. So, that is a good point, that I should put the link to my Twitch in the chat. That would be a smart thing to do right after I shilled.
Yeah.
For that channel.
Cat is here and working on technical difficulties.
Yeah, I know the internet's rough today, but I'm happy we're able to make it.
I can't even get the internet to do anything. I'm gonna have to pay $100 for the service guy to come out and do it for me, because apparently,
Oh, snap.
it is not easy.
Have you tried punching it?
I am like 2 steps away from hitting it with a sledgehammer I haven't bought yet.
Sometimes it works, not always, but just like that.
All right, the infamous Kahoot is back.
So it's not the one I was expecting, but it's here.
Oh, nice.
It's a pretty
One
sweet
of them.
shirt.
What is it? Just a design, or is there?
It's called the Electric Rainbow. It's just like streaky patterns and
nice
of color and black. The other one's like an inverted version where it's all color. I don't know when that one's showing up now.
So once
I like
again,
how the
for
first 2 numbers is 69.
69, nice. So for everybody who missed the last round of trivia, you go to, on any device, www.kahoot.it, and you type in the game pin. The winner of this round will also receive either a shirt or a mug, depending on your preference. Our last winner was Atheist Drew for the first round, which was Medical Myths themed. This round is themed based on my edited videos. So the answers are all in those videos, and I will admit this round is harder than the last one. Since most of those videos are very highly educational videos. So I love these names right now. So you will get points for answering correctly. You will get more points for answering correctly quickly, and you will not lose any points for answering incorrectly. So it is in your best interest to guess. There are 10 questions in this round. There's no finals round today because we have the people winning merch who win each of the rounds. So this is the second round. So the last opportunity to win a prize today. So no pressure, but
I feel pressured. Yeah.
I'm going to give everybody, I'm going to get up and grab a beverage really quick, but I'm going to give you all an opportunity to keep joining, and y'all know how to talk. So Bolt's in charge.
Are you certain of that? Are you certain?
I'm in charge.
We know how to talk? Oh, Bolt's
Alright,
in charge.
Bolt.
Well, here it goes. Everything's going.
Yeah,
all
like
the way in
you all like don't know how to shut up whenever I'm trying to talk, but then whenever there's like an awkward silence, nobody knows how to speak.
No, everybody's just like, what do we say? I want to see more people from the chat join the
I do want to
game.
see more people from the chat join.
Yeah, chat.
Hop in the game, please. People from the chat.
You
We
can
want to
do it.
see your bad answers to hard questions as well. So, you can put in the pin. You can go to the website.
Is it difficult to do it, Bolt? I think that's the problem. Is people are scared.
I think
that
it is. It's really
How do you-
tough. It's really
Right.
really hard. You have to go to a website and put in
Okay.
a pin and then create a name for yourself. It's
Oh my
really
God.
hard. Those
Like
3 steps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Three
three
steps.
incredibly complicated steps.
Mm.
Therefore,
I think I
God.
can do it. Therefore, God. Yeah.
Therefore,
that seems,
God.
that
Oh my God,
seems right.
Really?
I mean, either that, or we all need to be licking crystals more regularly. It's
I
one of
mean-
those two things.
I licked a
we're
crystal
not-
for
you're supposed
breakfast.
to be doing that regularly? Hold on.
Wait, you're supposed to put them in your mouth?
Yeah, well,
Oh no.
I mean,
Oh no.
depends on
Whoops.
if it's emerald or quartz.
It's just, I mean, I thought I was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I have
for a reason.
I have a pretty sizable emerald on my finger. Does that count?
I mean, how often does that finger go up that old butt there? I mean, 'cause if it's regular, then I would say watch out. Emeralds are definitely
I mean, you'll see Jesus. That's all I'm
orifice.
saying.
Yeah, you can put emeralds in your ear, you can put emeralds in your mouth, you can put emeralds in your nose, but you never want to go below the waist. You also don't want to listen to anything that I'm saying right now because none of it is factual
Wait,
at all,
you
and I
told me
just realized
not.
that I should not take this opportunity to spread BS information.
So you said not to go below the waist, but then you said don't listen to you. So you know what I'm doing?
Right.
Mm-hmm,
Oh,
that's I mean, what you should
And I
be
swear
doing.
I swear I wasn't saying anything.
That's right.
Elliot,
Let's
look what
let's
you've
join.
done.
I swear.
Let's
It
see more
wasn't me.
people from the chat join. Come on.
I do want to see more people from the chat. Don't let these losers on screen win. They don't deserve to win.
Wow.
Damn.
I love you
Fighting
all.
words.
I
I'm
love
gonna
you
win.
all.
Yeah.
But
Okay, I love you too, asshole.
but you're all trolls. I love you all.
Love
Just
you too.
kidding.
Man. My shower is going to be a lot longer today.
Yeah, for all that extra.
Is that for the
masturbating.
extra crying or the extra masturbating?
I mean both.
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
See, if there's anything you learn from me, it should be time management. And that is just such an important skill. Like, as many things as you can do at once, the better.
We lost somebody. Come on
We
back.
did lose somebody.
We want you back.
Baby,
Come back.
You can blame it.
Oh, is atheist
on me.
Drew, I think.
Hmm.
We lost.
No, we're blaming it all on Elliot. It's all his fault.
Oh, is it Elliot's month?
That's fair.
I don't
No,
know.
it's mine. It's still April.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
still yours.
still
Who's
Bolt's month.
taking- Who's taking May?
SR can take it.
SR can take.
Well,
Yeah.
SR is the complaints department already.
SR is the complaints department. So if anybody has complaints about the questions, you know where to send
They
it.
go
You got to
that
send it
guy,
to
not
SR.
Kyle, but the guy above him.
Yeah, SR is the head of the complaints department. Just note that he will only respond between the hours of 8 and 5 on weekdays, and you have to be ready to wait on hold for about 3 hours.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And
The
and you
phone
will-
number is 1-800-FUCK you.
And my clock is always
Today.
broken, so it's just like perma stuck at like 7:45 a.m. So that's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
if you send him an email, he won't reply.
No. No, he doesn't take emails. It's only over the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he accepts emails. He just doesn't respond to them.
And when you call in, there's gonna be like a robot that'll give you like 18 different options, and whichever option you pick is not the right one to answer your question. So you're gonna be transferred between multiple different departments
And I'm gonna
until
need
you get to the right one.
I'm gonna need you to sign up for an account that requires you to put in your birth date and your first and last name, your social security number, and
Your blood type.
We'll need to see two electric bills as well.
The name of your firstborn child.
A drop of blood.
What happens if you don't have any children?
Well,
Make
you're gonna
them.
you're gonna have to go find
Make
somebody's
the
kid.
children.
You're also gonna need the cow is white as milk, the hair is yellow as corn, the cape is red as blood. You know, all that stuff. You gotta go into the woods to find it.
It sounds very much like the complaints department is stealing people's identities.
Stealing? No, it's commandeering.
Oh, okay.
Borrowing.
Borrowing.
Yeah.
Right.
Borrowing with intent.
Where can I buy those on the dark web there, bud?
Look, you want to talk about a troll. I don't know if it's the whole portion of Scotland or just that guy. But that Ascalon
He's
ugh.
Does he live under a bridge?
He might. I'll ask him.
Yeah. His pictures have always been kind of dark and shadowy, but I don't know why. But
I think this is all the people we're gonna get in. If you want to join after we've started, you can still join. You just will miss the questions that you weren't there for. So, all right, I'm gonna hit the start button.
Time for
This is the
failure.
edited video round. There are 10 questions. You get 30 seconds to answer. Question number 1. According to SDB, what is the superior light source? I love how we're starting off on such a good note.
On a lighter note.
On a lighter note, yes.
Oh, I get it.
A much lighter note.
Wow.
That's good.
I'm a dad. I'm in the union. I can make that joke.
The answer
Why are you
is
the way that you are?
the otoscope, and any other answer is incorrect.
Oh man.
Brain damage.
You mean I shouldn't be shoving a phone flashlight up my ass?
No.
I mean, if you want to, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who's
thanks for
long
the
Furby
follow-up.
baby?
If you don't see why not, you need to turn the flashlight on.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this Cat or
Of course
Bolt
it
or who's? It's
Who-
Cat.
who the
Cat's
fuck
long
else
Furby
would show
baby.
up?
Okay.
Don't ruin it.
Yeah.
Gotta.
Well, I need to know. I need to know who wins. Question number 2. Failure to reject a false null hypothesis is what type of statistical error?
Jesus Christ, dude.
I played a word game with this one and it was funny. It's funny at the time that I wrote this. You can tell I had a bad week with these questions.
Yeah, you take it out on us, and it's hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing this whole round. Oh my god, I got it right.
It is a type 2 error because you failed to reject, so therefore you accepted a false null hypothesis. So you should have rejected it, but you didn't, and that is a type 2 error. And Cat's still in the lead. Question number 3. The probability of committing a type 1 error is also known as...
I purposely picked what I assumed to be definitely the wrong answer.
Same.
That seems like a bad strategy for winning.
You'd be surprised with these.
A, you'd be surprised, and B,
Oh,
I don't need
It
to
is
win.
alpha. Alpha is the probability of committing a type 1 error.
I learned more from your trivia than I do from school.
This is the point. This is
Problem
an
is, I
educational
don't retain
show.
any of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I dump all information I hear on a daily basis.
It's all really interesting,
Amazing
but
I've
then it
made it
goes
this
right
far.
out the other ear.
Yeah.
Amber's moving up.
I get mad at my wrong answers, so I remember them.
That's how I learn. Like for med school, I just do questions and then get mad at myself for not knowing something.
Just get angry at the textbook, folks. That's the
Also,
way.
Angry.
A fun fact
You learn
about
through
the Kahoot
anger.
app.
This is
Fun
the
fact
Sith
about the-
code.
Keep talking.
What's
over
going on
them
with the
by
Kahoot app?
accident.
What?
No, I was going to say a fun fact about it is that if you've participated in a trivia, you can go back and review your wrong questions and redo them, and you can
Oh, nice.
study them.
Yeah, it's an educational app.
Yes,
Someone's being loud outside.
it's me. Let me in.
Next question. 4. Ivermectin is FDA approved to treat which of the following conditions? If you guess COVID, I'm sorry. You've learned nothing.
You've
But I
learned
had to
nothing,
put it.
and we're disappointed in you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
It is
mad. I'm just disappointed. in you.
Onchocerciasis. So ivermectin, this is you all did a really good job though, because it is off-label used for scabies, but it's not approved for scabies. This is my main answer choice. Nice is moving on up. Atheist Drew also moving up. Amber has a streak with 3 correct answers in a row. Long Furby Baby is still in the lead. Question 5. This is a multi-select. According to ACOG, a non-spontaneous ending of pregnancy after 20 weeks gestation is defined as multiples of these answers.
We got to pick multiple ones?
You got to pick multiples. And then hit submit. Don't forget to hit the submit button or it won't count.
I'm pretty sure I remember you talking about this like 10,000 times.
I've talked about this on multiple channels.
Yeah, I remember,
Yes,
but I'm
multiple
not.
times on multiple channels.
Yeah.
It is both a termination and a delivery after 20 weeks.
You actually
got
talked
one
about
of
this
them right.
recently.
I did. I had a debate on Talk Heathen with some dude about this.
And wasn't one of your more popular videos about that?
Yep. My whole abortion series.
Yeah, that's the one that gets recommended to me all the time.
It's got a lot of
We
good
have
info right now.
Oop, there it is, coming in second, followed by Kyle, followed by 911. Who's 911?
I don't know, but hopefully it's not actually an emergency.
It's the police. Open up.
Oh no, they found us. It's Long Furby. Question number 6. Hydrophobia or fear of water is associated with which illness? It is rabies.
I only knew that because of Old Yeller.
Oh no.
Oh,
I guessed it because
sad.
it seemed like the least likely answer.
Long Furby's still in the lead. Going into question 7. Porphyria cutanea tarda is caused by a deficiency of which enzyme?
I'm mad because I watched this and I remember.
I talked
don't
about
remember this.
all of these enzymes can contribute to some type of porphyria. I have made videos on
that's
all of
why
the
it's
enzymes
blue.
listed as answer choices.
I just think the picture on this one is really good. It
is the vampire cat. It is urod.
Yeah.
Alice, along with PBGD, is for AIP, and then ferrochelatase is for EPP. All different types of porphyrias. Amber moving on up. Long Furby still in the lead. Going into question 8. Leuprolide blocks puberty via agonism of which hormone? And that's a picture of the pituitary gland. Because it works on the pituitary gland. Yes, Scarlett, this should count as continuing education for everybody. Y'all should get credit.
It really should.
I don't want credit because I get a failing grade. I get fewer
It
credits
is
than I get.
GnRH.
No, it's
Gonadotropin
all
releasing
participation
hormone.
grade. We only get graded because we're here.
Yeah, because you learned something. Amber has an answer streak of 3. 2 questions left. During human embryologic development, the indifferent gonads originate from the... This was from one of my very early videos. This was a mean question. It is the urogenital ridge. So the urogenital sinus becomes the bladder. The genital tubercle becomes either the penis or the clitoris, and the mesonephric duct becomes the wide variety of internal male genitalia.
But just to be clear, I do not have sinuses in my genitals, right? I mean, I don't know that much about the body, and I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure that I was right about that. Right?
Well, you don't now. You did your bladder at one point
Was part
a
of my
sinus.
sinuses?
You
well,
know,
no,
you
it
know
was
how,
a sinus.
Okay.
But yeah.
I don't know if I want to say
blowing
this
my
out
mind.
loud. You know how when you come, it's almost like you're sneezing?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that. I see
Wow,
that.
it all makes
I
sense
didn't
now.
need to know that. Jonathan, what's up? Ryan, what's up?
Guys showed up at a great time.
Oop, there it is in the lead. We got one more question. Let's see how this turns out.
I shouldn't have said that out loud.
I got
what you've
the
done.
weirdest mental imagery. Question number 10. The number of new disease cases per unit time is known as the...
Just remember, Bolt, it's impolite to sneeze into people's mouths.
Oh my god.
Without consent. Only without consent.
It is the incidence.
Look what you've done.
Third place is Amber. Second place is Long Furby. First place is... Is that Bolt?
No.
It's not Bolt?
No, I'm
Okay.
not smart.
Who is Whoop There It Is? I'm guessing it might be somebody from... Oh, it's SR?
Right here, baby.
Hell yeah.
Right here.
It's SR.
Yes. And there
We'll
it
chat.
was. Whoop.
Nice job.
Thanks.
Well done.
Well, some of them were guesses.
Good
I'm not
job,
gonna lie.
SR. Look at you go.
Every single one of those were guesses for
I
me.
need that.
But we'll chat about getting you some merch. And I hope you're going to rep it on other people's shows.
I will gladly. I need more shirts to wear. So.
And Jonathan just ruined my day.
Baby. Thanks, best friend.
I don't think you
With
could.
consent.
I don't think you could sneeze into someone's genital ridge because that's like up in your torso where your kidneys and your gonads
You wanna
develop,
come say hi?
and then they descend. So actually, well, your kidneys start lower and then move up, and then it's weird. The human body is weird. Like if you think about people saying how well designed it was, like why do your gonads start up here and move down and then can get stuck on the way down, and then the kidneys start from the bottom and go up and can get stuck on the way up, and then also like your parathyroids and your thyroid, like they end up going in different directions and can get stuck, and you get like weird like holes in your neck that stay forever.
So are you saying
It's
we
weird.
weren't intelligently designed?
Yeah, like
The
if we were
fuck?
designed, it was not intelligent.
Yeah. There's also the chance that at any moment, for no reason whatsoever, a blood vessel pops in your brain and you just die pretty quickly. So, like, that's just horrible. That
I love
makes
having those thoughts in my
I
head
sure
all
hope
day.
it feels
Thanks,
good.
SR.
Sorry about that. But I will say that Ascalon would like me, Ben, to get your medical advice on sexually transmitted narcolepsy. Like, let's say there's a person who doesn't have let's say there's a person who doesn't have a lot of great shirts to wear and hops on shows every so often, hypothetical person. And whenever they are engaged with a partner, consensually, of course,
They fall asleep.
That partner seems to fall asleep regularly.
This is exactly where Julie spawned from, is what you're talking
Right.
about.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think causes that? Do you think it's
Yeah,
something yeah.
we can have a talk off stream.
You still won't get back to me about those
about your-
pictures
about
of
your
that.
That
sex
sounds like
life.
a technique problem.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
some fun.
Well, everybody, I got to get going. But Ben,
Oh, bye, Kyle.
Ben, congrats on 1
Love
year.
you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
for
Hope
sure.
to have you
Bye,
on
Kyle.
again soon.
Oh yeah, I'll be
Shane
around.
says
for
there's
sure.
not enough dancing on the screen right now.
There
we go.
Thank you, Kyle.
There we go.
All right, later, guys.
Bye. Jonathan, I sent you a link. Shane, would you like a link? If you're in the chat and would like a link to join the stream, you can let me know. I'm not going to put the link out in the public chat because I don't want trolls getting in. But
You already
the
let
only
SR in. Like, come on now.
well, I brought SR in, but the only rule, if you want to be on, just don't be an asshole. And if you're an asshole, I'll boot you out. But I'm happy to make this an open mic, let people on. If we end up getting too many people, then I'll have to kick some people, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I have a baby.
You do have a baby. I've spent so much time with babies over this past month, and I enjoyed peds, but at the same time, I'm happy to like be away from the screaming for a little bit.
I would like to be away from the screaming for a little bit.
Like kids will scream about everything. Like it doesn't matter. Like as if you go to a pediatrician's office and like you hear the screaming and you might think, oh wow, that kid's in pain. No, like most of the time,
they're mad
like
about
you
it.
looked at them, like you were sitting across the room and you looked in their general direction and they scream, or they don't have a lollipop yet and so they scream, or their toy fell on the floor so they screamed, or like
Or
they
their
will
shoes are on the wrong feet despite being on the correct feet that the shoes are meant for.
yeah. They just scream, and like they also like every baby screams when you put them on the scale to weigh them, and even like toddlers will scream. Like you just tell them, "Can you stand here?" and you put them down, and they just scream. Like I can't do anything right. Like they're just gonna scream, and that's how small humans are. So
Yeah.
it's not you.
This one-
if you work with
this one
children
in
and the kids
particular-
scream, it's not you.
This one in particular hates when you have to lay them down and put them on the like to measure how long they are.
Oh, they
You have to
hate
put their head
that.
up on the board. She hates that.
It's so
She
funny
would
because you
rather
just you put them down to measure how long they are. Like you just and you have to like pull their foot a little bit just so like their knee isn't bent so you get an accurate
Yeah.
length. And they will scream so hard. So when you're like,
it's
I
the
just need to
worst
measure
thing.
you, child. Like it's okay.
It's gonna last 2 seconds, but you're kicking your feet and making it
Yeah.
take 5 minutes
Length
instead of the 2
and head
seconds.
circumference. They do not like head circumference. Like I know we
She
gotta
didn't
put this
mind
thing
that
on your
so much.
head, but like it's fine. It's just a measuring tape. That's it. Or no one's gonna hurt you. It's okay. I promise. You're fine. Yeah, it was a month. It was a month.
Yeah.
It's okay. Maybe the adults will scream too.
That'd be fun.
Shade. I told my son he had his shoes on the wrong feet, and he replied, "But these are my only feet."
He is ready
Yeah.
to be a dad.
He's correct. That child is correct. I mean,
These are in fact your only feet.
it's like, well, yes.
All right, I have one other highlight video that we can watch, and then we'll just descend into shenanigans. Actually, I do. Before we do that, the next highlight video, I want to thank everybody who has been a guest on one of my either Medical Myths episodes, or I had a live stream about EMS, so I have those guests on there too. But for all the people who have been a guest on this YouTube channel, thank you. It's been a great time. And I'm going to share the next highlight reel from Medical Myths. This is the highlights for Medical Myths Part 2. And I need to video, and then we're going to share the screen. I'm really happy with this intro and how it turned out, though.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet, man.
I made it, and I don't usually make things, but I was proud of it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Medical Myths, this show about what not to do with your body. And you may notice that I am the only one on screen, but there is another name on there because I have somebody in studio with me, and it's Jonathan.
Hi, it's me. I do things. How's everybody doing?
I don't know if they can. Everybody say hi. Oh, it's a Ben. It is a Ben.
It is, in fact, a Ben. Hi, Ben.
It's a Ben. Hi, Jonathan.
He is created, meaning man. Man is created from a gushing fluid that is issued from between the loins and the ribs. Semen, according to the Quran, is not formed in the testicles, but somewhere between the loins and the ribs. And this appears in multiple places in the Quran and the Hadith. So I don't know where they're talking about, but if you go to your lowest, your floating ribs, down to your loins, which would mean your genitals, maybe somewhere in your intestines or stomach, I don't know, but that's where they think semen is created.
I don't want this to sound like I'm telling people not to try new things, okay? But I think there are a couple of things in this world, in this life that we have, that if you do find yourself doing them, that thought that you had of like, never in a million years did I think, like, yeah, that's a good fucking thought. Like, follow that thought through and be like, wait a second, I'm about to be filmed for national television, drinking my urine for the very first time. Maybe I shouldn't. You know? I mean, that's reasonable. There's a reason your brain is saying that to you.
We'll get back to that video because he's going to propose a cure for this, and we'll talk about that. But
It's not a potato this time.
it's not a potato. No, but
They're
apparently
Idaho
you
have
can
all
use a
those potatoes around, and they didn't even realize the cure was right there, right under
I
their
know.
feet.
Why are people selling like these homeopathic treatments when you could just use a potato?
So I'm now confused. If I start shaking people at different frequencies, can I change them from male to female and vice versa?
That would, I mean, I'm trans. Like, do this for. Can you shake me and help me like physically transition?
I mean, I
That
could
would
think
be
of how
amazing.
one type of vibration might help with certain body parts, but I don't think that's
Okay,
appropriate
well,
for
but that's
YouTube.
yeah. But I've already done that. So did y'all catch that? Did you all catch that? He said the mechanism for how this works is that you are balancing your chi in your body by using these meridians, which connect your whole body together. Your whole body's connected by meridians, and you need to align your chi, and that's going to promote healing in your body because the meridians communicate with the brain and cause all this to happen. So I would love to see some evidence that, number one, chi exists. Number two, that these meridians exist.
Literally, the priest takes blood and whips it at everybody in the like fellowship. So they're then covered in this blood. And so like they're like, see, God knows to protect us from blood.
Oh man, we could get on a whole tangent about how people talk about being trans as like being a lifelong patient. It's like, are you not? What are you not doing? You should be going to the doctor multiple times a year to get checkups.
I go to the doctor multiple times a day.
Oh, there
Except
you go.
except I'm on the other side. But when you eat, the food does not go to your spleen or your pancreas. Like, what are you doing? Are you cutting yourself open and taking ice cream and like rubbing it all over your spleen and your pancreas? Like, that's the only way to be able to contact
This
those
sounds like-
areas with it.
This sounds like a new horror film. The pseudoscientist. He goes around and he shows you how ice cream destroys your spleen by cutting you open and pouring it on there.
Does
I've
he
seen
know-
people do crap like that. Well, not actually like that, but they'll take like an organ and say, "This is what your heart looks like when you put it in soda." And you're
I
going,
was like, why are you putting heart in soda?
That's-
I'm just trying to imagine little bacteria and viruses. Like imagine this virus being like, oh, well, the sun is in the first house. Like,
Yeah, how would
I
they
gotta
know?
go infect. It's infection time. It's infection time, boys. Like, how would a virus know that it's time to infect somebody? Mercury's in retrograde. I gotta go. Now is the time.
He'll talk about brain reserve and how like everything you do affects your brain reserve. Like if you fell down the stairs as a kid, you've lost brain reserve. If your mom was stressed while she was pregnant with you, you have less brain reserve. And he made this outlandish claim that 2 soldiers could be struck by like an explosion of some sort, the exact same angle and blast radius, and one of them would be disfigured and disabled due to it because he had less brain reserve. And the person who had more would walk away basically fine, which is fucking absurd. Like, oh, because my mom didn't smoke with me when she was pregnant, I could survive an explosion. Like, that's a fucking wild claim, dude.
Yeah, some wild
adventure.
stuff.
What are we taking away from some of these moments on medical myths?
That I'm so glad I didn't smoke with my kids. She can now survive an explosion. That's great.
I'm very happy that SR taught us not to drink pee.
I think everybody out there should be more concerned about your virus's astrological sign. So I think that is a deeply important thing. You should know whether or not that virus is a Taurus or whatever the other fucking signs are. Yeah, it's big. It's big. Or don't, because
is cancer a cancer?
That's interesting. Yeah,
it's funny because they named the disease cancer because like it grew to look like a crab, and so that's why it's called cancer.
Really?
Yeah,
be really funny if you found out it was like no, I'm Aquarius actually.
Hey,
oh, that's interesting.
Oh, no way.
So Shane's making some new worship songs in the chat. So well, this one's not the worship song, but the next one is the I'm coming back to the heart of people. So I kind of want to parody some worship songs with our channel lore. Make songs about Furby and Julie and Peepus and
we have to.
And viruses of the genital sinus.
That's important. That's important.
No.
Stool. I sent you a link, Stool. You can join us if you want.
No, he's gonna just try and steal my anus potatoes again.
Well, yeah, because you both are his sex servants, and he will not interact with me until you both meet your end of the agreement. Again, Stool, like we have the complaints department. You can file with the complaints department. So I do need some more departments taking care of this.
Department too.
We have SR, who's the complaints department, and I think Phoebe is the snacks department. Kyle's the weed department.
I thought me and Bolt were the snacks department.
Are you? I don't know. I thought Phoebe was.
I thought Phoebe was our personal chef.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in the amount of snacks in my office over the past couple of months. But for some reason, I can never seem to get a response from complaints. So, whoever that jackass is,
who is HR?
I mean, his complaints. I could take over HR. I mean, I'm already doing such a great job with complaints.
You're doing such a great job at the complaints department. Bolt is the anus onion department.
Oh, it's anus onion.
That's in Stool's. That's in Stool's lore, though, because I'm the gardener in Stool's lore. That's different. We have different departments here on this side of the YouTubes. We have the complaints department. We have the snacks department. I mean, we have the weed department. What other departments do we even need? I feel like we're pretty complete. Oh, we need a financial department. I feel like that's Swede. I feel like Swede is the financial department. Unless anyone else wants to take over. But
are you volunteering Swede for this, or
I'm volunteering Swede to be the financial department.
I mean, I think that's the right move.
It's the right move. Shane is the head of the jazz department. Yes. Yes, Shane gets to be the head of the.
This head.
Tons of mice is the potato department. So we're getting some great important departments. Like we need to make sure our potatoes are covered. We got to make sure that the
I
snacks are
just want to
covered.
make sure that we're adequately thinking about the growth. We don't want to just keep adding departments for the sake of adding departments.
Yeah, a meat definitely needs to be the dad joke department. But I don't know, because Kenneth would also be good for. Maybe they can both be the co-chairs of the dad joke department.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, they can also because we can even give them 2 departments since they're both good for multiples. They can both be the co-chairs of the dad joke department and also the co-chairs of the jacked department. So they can both take that.
Nice.
Is there a doesn't no one to keep his mouth shut department? Because I think I have that covered. I feel like SR could also have that covered, but just kidding. I love you, SR. But you already have multiple departments.
Send a complaint my way. That'll take care of it.
Yeah, you can be that department. Stool, there is no right. Well, you cannot ride the pube elevator between departments.
Yeah, I don't have a whole floor. Whose department has a whole fucking floor? I've got an office in the corner. Who the hell has a whole floor, Ben? Which department has
a cardboard box outside? But I didn't know when you got an office.
Well, it's not my office.
I'm
just running into this person's office and kind of jimmying the lock. So
Stool, is this a new slang term for sex? Are we calling it the pube elevator now?
Ride the pube elevator.
Is this a euphemism I didn't know about?
It is now. All aboard. No, Stool.
No.
Oh, I mean, I'm down to do a shot because this is a celebration. But I did have a request from, I think it was it Shane or Ascalon? Somebody was asking me to do, oh yeah, it was Shane. I think the snappy gloves. So we are going to do some snappy gloves because
Exciting.
This is what we do here. Also, Spooky Bed Hair wanted me to make a glove balloon and then pretend it was an udder. So I don't think I'm gonna do that.
I mean, what were you gonna do after you blew it up to pretend it was an udder? What was the next step in the? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I told the story about med school and how we did kind of use a technique like that in anatomy lab because I'll explain. It makes sense when I explain it. So we were dissecting our cadaver, and you have a cadaver for the whole year that you pretty much dissect all the way through. And we were using the bone saw one day, and with the bone saw, you have to make sure that it doesn't overheat and light things on fire. So you have to make sure that the cadaver is well lubricated when you're using the bone saw. And so you take the embalming fluid and you have to keep pouring it on the area of the cadaver that you're using the bone saw on. So what we did, we took one of the gloves and we filled it with the fluid and cut the end of one of the fingertips and then used it to squeeze the liquid onto the cadaver. Weird things that happened in that lab. And I know I can casually talk about my experience in a cadaver lab and not remember that that's not normal for most people.
You said without proper lubrication, the bone saw will catch things on fire. Now, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding this. You're saying like a part of a person? While you're cutting it, what part of the person is what's gonna catch on fire?
I don't know because we didn't make it catch fire, but it's fuck,
man.
Yeah, I have not lit a cadaver on fire.
Maybe the bone and the bone dust itself.
Yeah, probably.
I'd love to see that just as a blooper, a 10-second, Like,
they
then,
would
like,
not be okay. We would get in so much trouble in the cadaver
I
lab.
think it would
if
be
that happened.
terrible. I think it would be very, very bad. But I mean, like, I don't want anybody to do it on purpose. But if it had to happen, I would love for it to be caught on camera so that I could see it.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have cameras in the.
Probably has been.
Well, actually, the department can film in the cadaver lab, but otherwise, no one else is allowed to film because it's like HIPAA, because it is human remains. So you're not allowed to like record unless you get explicit consent.
But they don't have. I mean,
No.
wouldn't the place itself, the facility itself, don't they have cameras inside, or is it just outside?
Yeah, they have the cameras, but you can't show the video like outside of the context of the class.
Sure. No,
So, yeah,
we
there's
could
like
just-
a lot of legal things with using cadavers, but
I'd
it's like
to
such a.
science.
I don't think I will,
Why
knowing how we used the bodies. But,
I know medical students, and they're shit.
well, just like it's a very weird experience being in a cadaver, and I've had because I had in my undergrad we had cadavers too, but we only had 2 cadavers at that school for undergrad because we weren't individually dissecting. But in med school, you have like 30 something cadavers in this one room, and this is your cadaver for the rest of the year. And like you put so many hours into that cadaver lab, but it's a weird experience. Like it's hard to describe like how you feel being in a cadaver lab like that. And like there's like you compartmentalize your thoughts because on the one hand you're like, yeah, we're doing a job, like, and you're so stressed with studying because every minute you're spending with the cadaver is supposed to be learning, even though I wish we had more time to study outside of the cadaver lab. But because you have to learn every little detail of those bodies, and you will end up being tested on them. Like you have a practical part of your tests. So you have like the written part where it's just like a normal test. And then there's the practical where they tag different things on the cadavers, but they're all like 4th order questions. So they're not tagging something for you to identify it. They're tagging something and then asking you this whole other like clinical question about it. And you have to connect these dots in your head. But like, it's so hard to see what's going on the body sometimes. Like they'll tag a nerve in like a really weird spot where it's hard to see. But then you only get 70 seconds to answer the question before you have to move to the next station and answer the next question. So you can't go back and redo questions. Like you're done. Unless somehow you remember later on. Like there were times when I was overthinking a question or I had thought that I didn't answer a question correctly. I'd be like 3 stations down trying to remember what the answer choices were at that station. And like, if I put the right one, like you can't do that because you have 70 seconds for the one question. Once you're done, like you're not really going to be able to change it and get it right. So it is a hard class. It's
When such you're a saying-
fucking hard class.
When you're saying station, are you talking about like different cadaver or just like the first thing
Well-
that's tagged is like on the shoulder and then you're going to like
You might have multiple things tagged on one cadaver, but they're each like there are multiple cadavers used during the practical. And you might have a couple things tagged on one body, but you're on opposite sides of the table, so you can't see the other question. But then other questions on the test will be like on the X-rays, like they'll put X-rays up and have you answer those questions. They have some pictures, some models occasionally, but like anything that they could tag on the body, they would tag on the body. And they were mean. They were like the way I asked trivia questions. It's like that, but worse. Like because they know what you think the answer is, and every answer choice is a possible right answer if you didn't understand the full context. Like one of my favorite ones to explain this, like if they're tagging a nerve, they would tag, say, like the vagus nerve in the chest, because so something that you have to figure out. You have to know what nerve it is. So you got to know it's the vagus nerve. You got to differentiate that from other nerves in the same area, like the phrenic nerve goes in a similar area. So you got to know what passes by what goes under what. You got to know your orientation of where you are to know that that's the vagus nerve. You also, but that's not what they're asking in the question. In the question, they're asking you, where in the brain did that nerve originate? So now you got to know, not only is this the vagus nerve, you got to know where that is in the brain. And the answer choices they give you are all intermixed with the details you already had to fish out. Like if you had thought it was the phrenic nerve, one of the answer choices is where the phrenic nerve originates. And that's actually not in the brain. That's in C3, 4, and 5 is phrenic nerve. And then they'd have like different areas of the brain that you could think the vagus nerve went. Like if you thought it was in the pons as opposed to the medulla, those were both answer choices. The answer was the medulla. I know I got that one right. But like, and I don't remember what the other answer choice was, but it's like it banks on your mistakes and tries to get you to make a mistake when you answer the question. It's so rude, but that's how they test us.
I've heard what happens in the vagus nerve stays in the vagus nerve, but I don't know how true.
I mean, yes.
Thanks. No, I mean that sounds that's the reason I'm not a doctor. That and only that reason.
That reason.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what it is.
That's the only reason.
Absolutely.
There was one question they gave us, and this was like, because they will test your orientation of like the most obscure places in the body. And like one of the big things they test, you don't think about this even in like lower levels of anatomy classes, like in undergrad, like they don't get into this crazy amount of detail, but like all of the blood vessels in your skull and especially in your sinuses and like how those interact with other areas, like that's so heavily tested. Like we had a question where they had a cross section of a head to where it was focusing on this it's called the cavernous sinus, but they were focusing on that. The picture was like upside down or something, so your orientation's off. And then they're asking you questions about which nerve would be affected if you were to have like a thrombus or a disruption of a certain vein in that area, which you know that by knowing where they pass through, because they all pass through different holes and like to get to the eyes. And it's like the amount of critical thinking you have to do per question, and you get 70 seconds to do it in. Like you walk out of every single one of those tests and you're like, I failed it. Every single one you feel that is the worst. I don't miss it. I don't miss that class at all.
Yeah. The body is complicated, but also a wonderland. But
so don't go to med school. It's
yeah. Don't be a doctor.
That's
That's what Ben just said, everybody. Listen to him. Don't be a doctor.
Well, I have like so many mixed thoughts about it. It's like whenever someone tells me that they want to go to med school, I have to think to myself real quick about what my response is going to be, because it also depends on what day someone asks me that question. Because like if you ask me on a good day, you're going to get a very different response than if it was a bad day. Like it might be, like go follow your dreams. It'll be fine. Or it's like, no, it's hell. Get out. Don't do it.
That's what I see. You crushing some little kid's dream, like coming up to you and just being like, Ben, is being a doctor fun? I want to be a doctor when I grow up. And you're like, it's hell, kid. It's hell.
Don't do it.
You will never sleep. You will hate your life. No. Just
like, how much do you love your family?
Yeah.
You will never see them again.
Give some existential crisis to this 7-year-old. Oh, it's terrible.
You have to spin your chakras. The quantum. Oh, okay, got it. So the cavernous sinus is where the quantum glutens gather. Yeah, and then you have to spin your chakras. Yeah, absolutely, you do. Yeah.
This all seems factual to me.
We're gonna play Cadaver Jeopardy.
Oh wow.
Oh, this is actually a really good question. No, they don't pre-screen the cadavers, and in fact, you will find some very interesting anatomy on a lot of cadavers, and that's kind of the fun of it, like seeing the different cadavers, because you study off of all of them, but you'll find interesting abnormalities. Like on my cadaver, and this is really depressing though, because the reason, like most of the cadavers died of cancer, like the vast majority of them did, and our cadaver, she was very tiny and had like no muscle, so it was nice to the extent that like we didn't have as much work to do in terms of like getting to muscle layers, but it was so hard to not damage the muscle because she had so little of it. But her kidneys, she had colorectal cancer, and she also had some pretty bad hydronephrosis. Like, as we opened her kidneys, and one of them is like, I mean, they're both pretty bad, but one of them especially was super dilated, like the renal pelvis. Like they were like super, super dilated. We're like, so something was up. But she also had one of her ureters. Because I think when they did the surgery for her cancer, they moved one of her ureters because it was not in the place it was supposed to be found. It was like, I don't even know where they had put it, but we spent like a good while trying to find where the ureter was, and it was moved to some different place. So you do find a lot of atypical things in the cadavers, and it's kind of interesting when you do. But super super depressing conversation, but
Yeah, I mean, it's unusual for the majority, I would say. Yeah. I can honestly tell you, I have never done an autopsy. I've just, never done
Yo,
that.
dude, me neither.
Yeah, hey, it's twinsies. Ben, on the other hand, cutting up people and whatnot. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds so much more nefarious than I think it actually
the
is.
weirdest part, I think, like people don't understand like being in that kind of situation. Like it's different than like being at a funeral where like you might see the body, but that's it's very different, like working with a body that a person you've never met, but certain aspects, like you can't really separate yourself from like what you're working with. As if you're working on like the chest or the abdomen or something, it's easy to be like, yeah, okay, this is a job I'm doing. But with things like the face and the hands, it's too human. Like it's way too human, and you can't really separate what you're doing.
The hands.
It's really, it's a hard experience to describe, like the feelings of like seeing their hands or seeing their face.
Yeah, the hands. I didn't think about that. Man, that would be odd.
Yeah. In my undergrad, they had covered the face and the hands for a good part of the year, and then only near the end because there comes a point where you need to look at the head. So there's a point where they take that off, but they prep you beforehand. And the amount of dissecting we did in undergrad wasn't quite the same. But like in med school, you are doing a lot with the head and you're doing a lot with the hands. And it's weird. It's really weird. I don't think it ever got not weird for me. I know for some people, like they probably processed it a bit easier. But also for me, after my experience with the forensic autopsy, which I know left me with some psychological issues that I was in therapy for a long time. Like I don't think it ever will be normal for me to think about that kind of stuff. I don't know if it should either. Like I know people like the concept of being used to certain things or like being numb to certain things. And quite honestly, like I don't want to be. Like it might be easier to be, but I feel like if I lose that, like I'm losing part of my humanity in a way. It's
Yeah,
like I
there's something
think
to be said about not being desensitized to the point where you feel like you've lost something about what it means to be a person.
like I don't ever want to be comfortable with the suffering of another human.
Right.
I don't. I don't ever want to get there. I don't think I should get there.
No, I don't think anyone should.
I don't think it's about. I don't think the right answer is becoming numb to that stuff. Right? It's being able to cope in such a way where you're able to keep going. Right? I mean, but yeah, the idea of just being completely uninterested and desensitized to the atrocities that happen on a regular basis around the world to people. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's the right call, but
No.
you can't be so overwhelmed by everything where you never get out of bed, and that's always the hard thing to do. But even still, like, yeah, it's you gotta masturbate and cry in the shower every so often. That's the moral of that story.
Yes.
That's daily, right? Daily.
Yeah.
When I
yeah.
think
Every hour on the hour.
I think religion like set me up to have a bad time in all of that. And I think the fact that religion does not teach you how to deal with death and does not make you confront that, at least, especially not in a productive way. Like, I know as a kid, like even talking about people who died in the family, it's like it's spoken about in a very positive way of like, yeah, this isn't a big deal. Like, because they're just gonna go to heaven. You're gonna see them later. And like death is this peaceful thing. Like it's great because you're gonna be with Jesus. Like they make it so positive and they really downplay the discomfort that we naturally have as humans interacting with that. Like we have physiological and psychological responses to seeing somebody who's not alive anymore. And that's natural. But I think it's worse when you don't expect that and you think that it's going to be no big deal. And then you're confronted with it. And now you don't know what to do about it because you weren't taught that it was going to be that difficult. Like, I think if I had prepared and I knew what I was getting into, I probably would have had a different outcome. And like, because it's something that's very raw and it's very real and it hits you like you don't expect it to hit you. But I think we could teach a lot better. Like, and of course, I'm not saying that for like young children. I'm not saying to take your young child to go watch an autopsy or go, but like having conversations about it being hard is important. Like it's okay for it to be hard. It should be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't take. Believe me, I don't have kids. Don't take my advice on parenting. But yeah, you shouldn't take your kids to an autopsy. But you also shouldn't avoid the real world. And the real world is one that there's all kinds of terrible things, and you can't just shelter your kid forever and never let them experience, some of the things that have happened in this world or do happen or will happen. I mean, you have to let them grow and learn. And you're right, exactly what you were saying earlier about a lot of religion is sheltering you. A lot of religion is preventing you from growing and experiencing the things that are out there, and just kind of papering over all of the bad stuff with just kind of BS deepities. Like you telling me that there's a grand purpose doesn't do anything. You telling me that there's a time after this where I'll be able to hug my grandmother again, that's nonsense. It doesn't address the fact that I can't call my grandmother again, right? It doesn't address the fact that, my best friend is never going to be able to go watch a movie with me again. It just doesn't. And it doesn't address the fact that why a year and a half later, for no reason whatsoever, I'm grocery shopping and break down crying. It doesn't help. Your God isn't there for that. So that's why I think the soul and the afterlife are some of just the most terrible things out there, man.
And this is something I did want to bring up because, like, cultural differences and how they deal with death. And I think certain religions even do a better job. Like Hinduism tends to do a better job. Certain cultures in like Indonesia and other places where the family is responsible for the body up until the ceremony happens, like they're a lot more exposed to it earlier on than we are. So I think that probably relates to it. But like I think for me, something that was really difficult and why the autopsy was so difficult for me, especially the one of the 19-year-old, because that was the first time I interacted with a body that was younger than me. Like the idea that like it doesn't matter who you are, what religion you are, any of that. Like the outcome of everything that we're doing is that table. Like every person will be on that table. It's just a matter of when and how. But like something like that of like the feeling of purposelessness, which like now I don't mind as much because I've come to terms with the fact that I don't think there's a purpose to anything. But just like, okay, so this is the outcome, but like why is that? Like if that is everybody's outcome, then like what are we doing? Like what are we doing with all of this like existence in general? Like that was the biggest thing I had to wrestle with was my own existence of like what's the fucking point, which there isn't one. But it's a weird thing to process.
Gives us an opportunity to really care about the little shit that we got going on right now, because imagine at one point in time there was a very large amount of people, and one of those people was in charge of all of these other people, and that person, let's call this person Pharaoh, just made hundreds of thousands of slaves build super huge, massive objects. That happened. We have pyramids. We have the Sphinx. We have all kinds of incredible things from thousands, 3,000s, tens of thousands of years ago. And to think that every single one of them, doesn't matter who they were in that story, every single one of them died. Every single one of the people that are going to be here 1,000 years from now will die. It's just what's going to happen. And at some point, we will also be in the history books. We will be a footnote at the end of a long paragraph. I mean, by then it'll probably all be fucking TikTok videos or something. I don't know. But yeah, it means that what's happening right now for us, we should really care about. We should try to do some cool things with it, And that's why I think back to what you were saying earlier, like, yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons why I can't be numb to, dehumanization or people hurting each other, or I can't, because it's like, man, I don't have that much longer. Like I'm hoping to live for a good while, don't get me wrong, but my drinking habits probably say otherwise. So like
Well, something that's interesting to me as well, and I think that this all kind of relates, like the religious view basically that like I'm special. Like I'm special. I was picked to do a thing, and like I'm going to do all this. But then you think about it, and like again, the outcome for all of us is that table. Like maybe I'm not all that special. Like of course I have input on the world around me. I have relationships with people around me. I can have quality to my existence, but it's like I'm not any different than anybody else. Like the things that I'm doing are great. The things that other people are doing are great. But like there's nothing that I'm doing that like another person just like isn't capable of because I'm the superhuman like special person because I have my consciousness. Like it's so funny to me. Like, and I think that like people who study literature and who are writers probably have the same hang up with a lot of literature that I do, that the chosen one story is so terrible. I hate it. I hate stories where it's like you are special. It's like I think it's a better story when you have people that are just people and who happen to make good decisions, or they're in certain situations and they work together or whatever. They do things that are realistic. And they still, despite not being special, do cool stuff. Like that's cool to me. Why do we need to be super special compared to everybody else? Why can't we be just human and do cool stuff? Like, so I don't know. That's something with stories that bugs me, and I think religion plays a lot into that, because religion, especially Christianity, is very much like a you are chosen. Like the whole book is full of like these people are chosen and this person is chosen. Like, but maybe we're not chosen. You're just like person doing stuff, and it's okay.
That plays into the kind of is why one of the big reasons why religion has been successful for so long is because that story plays into the experience that we all have, right? Like, you know, when I go to bed at night, nothing else happens in the world, you know, like, and that's the way we all feel. If we're at a particular job on a particular day, well, then anything that's going on that day, that customer that came in, that box that dropped, that phone call, it's all about us. It's all rooted right here. And that's just because of kind of the way human brains are wired. Like we have to have this kind of internal monologue thing going on. We have to have this, everything is focused on me, because that just seems to be how we experience stuff. Like I don't get to smell things unless it's coming through my nose, unless it's hitting my sensory organs, you know? And so when you tell a story that is entirely focused on each reader individually and collectively is that unique, special, chosen one. Yeah, I mean that just kind of confirms everything you've felt. You're like, oh, dude, you know what? That bird that shit on my car this morning, like that has a purpose, that has a reason, and it's trying to tell me something. And even better, there's a big magical fairy tale guy sitting up in the clouds that made that bird do that to give me a particular message, you know? So, which by the way, a bird did shit on my car this morning, and I did.
I'm so sorry.
I felt personally attacked. So
I used to believe, like when I was religious, like I had the same terrible thoughts that like everybody does, of like everything's about me and I'm chosen for stuff. But like I had this thought, and I was like a lot younger. But like the thought of the rapture, and like, well, obviously it's getting close to the end times, because obviously I'm put here at a time when this should happen. Like, and I think we see that throughout history of people thinking that it's the end times, probably for the same reason of, well, I'm here and God must have chosen this time for me to be here for this to happen. I'm like, well, no, because I don't think that's going to happen at all. But I think like it's that same cycle with every generation. We all think that we're going to be the last one because we are the most important one. Mm-hmm. And then it goes by and we're like, you get to the end of your life and you're like, oh, well, that didn't happen during my lifetime. Oh, but maybe it'll happen in your lifetime. Like, but no, I don't think it will at all.
Because the newest crisis that happens tomorrow, the brand new social media platform, the new TV show or movie franchise. It's all focused on us. It's all about us. It's
Like
the
every
most
time I
important
see
time right
the
now.
Yeah, every time I see something that's like this is a sign of the end times. Like especially with regards to war. Like I've been seeing it a lot recently about like the current war. Like, humans have been at war ever since humans have existed. Like and granted the technology has changed, but like what makes this war any different than other wars in the past in terms of like not in terms of strategy or anything, but just in terms of like being a sign of the end times. Like it's violent. Like all of these wars have been violent. Like, and even you can make some arguments that like if it was based purely on the horrific nature of certain wars, you go back and read ancient history, and there's some horrifying stuff that happened in those wars. Like maybe humans are just gonna be at war, and we shouldn't be. But it's like they took very general things. Said, yeah, this is a sign of the end times, but it's only important because this one is during my lifetime. So that's why this one's a sign of the end times, and the last one wasn't.
Right.
Shane has a question for us, though.
Yeah, I think this is one of those, it was right there in front of you the whole time kind of things. Who knew that God was so powerful as to make the entire world submit to a exclusive 7-day cycle calendar that only he predicted. Now, mind you, this God could do anything else, just fucking anything, and refused. God did not do that, was not successful with any of those other options, but this one he got right. So I think best evidence ever I've ever seen or heard repeatedly by a rude person describing it. So.
I think I would take this in a different direction because just because we know that this guy doesn't listen. And also he likes to play. He likes to talk about the history, and he likes to go that route and play the word games. So naturally, I would take this into the math realm because I don't think he'd be able to really. I don't think he'd be entirely able to follow me to the math realm. But I would probably tell him, like, hey, I want stats. I want you to demonstrate to me that this is not a coincidence. Because we have math to do that. Like, tell me how we would design a study to determine whether or not it was a coincidence and what variables we have there. He probably would not like the conversation, but I will give him the because I can give him criteria of numbers that I would expect to be significant. And you know what? If he can do that.
The problem is though that you're coming at it from this scientism, positivism, empiricalism, and that's Satan, and that's really your issue, Ben. And I'm just I know that you can't see that because you're blinded by Satan, and I just love you so much, Ben, and I want you to be skipping through the cloud daisies with me up in the golden afterlife place thing. It just don't ask too many questions about it, but I want you to do that, and I care about you so much, which is why I'm here to tell you that you are infected with Satan, and that's why you need all these numbers and math.
So I'm gonna turn this back on you and tell you need to convince me why I need to reject the null. I don't have the data to reject the null yet.
Well, I think if you're saying, why should you reject Satan? And I think that's just, what I already said, which is, God is powerful. He's a big deal. You should really hang out with him. He's a great guy. And Satan is this null hypothesis.
Satan is the null hypothesis.
Yeah.
That needs to be a t-shirt. Satan is the null hypothesis. So if God was real, I should be able to reject the null then.
I mean,
right? Is that where we're going here?
And I think that's the thing, you reject the truth and righteousness of God.
So you're saying that I rejected I did not, so I failed to Wait, I'm
failed
trying
to
to put this
reject
in.
the null. Yeah, you failed to reject the null.
Yeah,
and the
when it was
null,
appropriate. So
the null is rejecting the all goodness and moral foundation for the instantiation of ultimate absolute something. But
But wait,
that's
Ben,
God.
isn't there a show for this?
Is there a show for this? What? Do we have a show about this?
It's almost like if you like watching Rarity and Ben go at it about this kind of stuff, that there might be a show for this at some point.
Might be a show.
We have
we got to
some
plan
things.
that.
Yeah. I think we might. Can I say it? Can I say it, Ben? We might talk about aliens. So if you want to hear some philosophical argumentation, for and against aliens, and then Ben does his whole doctory whatever stuff.
I'll talk about physics, and I will talk some biology. I will talk about some biology because that's always I have a fun thought experiment of what would we have to what would physiologically have to happen for a certain fantasy to be true. One of my favorites to talk about, and I want to actually get a panel of different scientists to talk about this. Superheroes. What would you have to change within humans to make superpowers possible, and what other kind of consequences would that have? Taking into example super speed, what would their muscle mass have to be, their bone structure, their cardiac output, taking all these together, actually calculating it out, what would these have to be? But then how would you engineer that to be able to work to achieve those speeds? But then thinking about if you were to go even say 60 miles an hour that you could run, if you tripped at all, you're insta dead.
Oh yeah, and you would have to
you would not survive.
Yeah, and you would definitely have to change things about your lungs and because I think moving at 60 miles an hour, with no container around you or anything, that would put a lot of strain. It put a lot of strain on you in some weird ways. You'd have to wear goggles, and probably earplugs or
and to have certain masses, in order to get your body to achieve those kinds of speeds while being aerodynamically, optimal.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
Imagine Mr. Fantastic, stretchy and all that stuff. Oh my gosh, what would your intestines and spleen have to do through that process?
And that's actually something like flexibility is an interesting one because we have genetic mutations that get us as close as we can to something like that, and they're fatal. Ehlers-Danlos is a mutation in collagen type 4, makes you super stretchy, but also predisposes you to heart problems. And so you have advantage in some areas, but if we were to exaggerate that even, what consequences are you going to have? Because we're already even just shifting a little bit.
So
we're seeing people die.
Let me ask something, because I just want to make sure if my logic's right on this, Ben, and it's medically, but radiation gives you superpowers. My microwave has radiation. My microwave will give me superpowers, right?
Do you want to address the science or do you want to address the syllogism? Because
I mean, we can go either route. You go either route, man. You tell me what you think is wise here. My microwave's not far. It's just the next room over. So
I made a fallacy earlier and you weren't here to correct me on it. So
sorry.
So that's why I had to make it.
I'll go back. I'll rewatch it on the upload, and then I'll just yell at you in the comments.
I don't even remember what I said. I know it was bad though. It was so funny. It was intentional. I don't remember what it was now. That was weird. Yeah, these superpowers are. I kind of want to take this. Oh, Cat's gonna leave. Bye, Cat. I wonder if, because we're kind of slowing down. I know Neil wanted to come on, but I don't know how long he's going to be, and we're kind of slowing down anyway. So
nobody wants to hear me talking about what I'm going to do with my microwave later. So I mean,
do not pull a South Park on us, please.
and that is just to be clear that it does not work like that. Like your testicles would never get so large that you could
I
use
hope
them as
not.
like that seems uncomfortable. That seems problematic.
My genetic mutation is where instead of regular eyes, the genes caused me to evolve eyes that are actually gateways to another dimension made of pure energy.
That sounds while like a really super cool power, it also sounds incredibly worthless.
Awful.
Like I love coming up with like bad superpowers, like you have a complete and total maximal strength, but only with like boxes. Like you can lift any box of any weight whatsoever, but like you couldn't lift a building or anything unless you put it in a box first. Just stupid superpowers like that. Those are
right. My Swede will ask that question of like you can have a superpower, but it has to be something like really, or no, it's like a super villain thing. You cause some inconvenience to somebody, but that's the most you can do. So mine is always the ability to make someone think that they need to pee, but they don't actually need to pee. It's so inconvenient.
I'm thinking the bottom of their shoe will always feel like there's something sticky on it, but they'll never be able to figure out what it is. Like they'll just every time they go step somewhere, it'll just stick and shit. Wipe it down. Like,
Ooh, another one is if you're robbing someone's house but can only take one thing that's just going to cause them an inconvenience, what do you take?
All their toilet paper. It's like if anything about the last couple of years showed me anything, it is toilet paper is worth its weight in gold.
I think I would take the the things that open your blinds. I'd take all.
Oh yeah, the little like twisty. Yeah.
I'd take those. Yeah.
What about like all of their forks?
Oh, that's so mean.
That'd be real. They'd be bummed out after. Man.
Yeah, or I'll just take all their socks. That'd be funny too. Because Sons of Mice said the thing about anytime you put on new socks, you'll step in water immediately. Yeah. So also if Ascalon would take all the batteries from the remotes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, I think we're gonna call it because we're just vamping now. So thanks everybody for joining. I know I think Neil has a show later tonight, so I'll see him. I'll see him later. But thanks everybody for joining. It's been one hell of a year, and looking forward to the next one. And I will see you all next time.